Hello, everybody, and welcome to Boss Talks, episode 83. We have a great guest today, Katie Phelan-Chostner. She is with One Up Floors here in the great state of Washington. She is a supplier, as you can tell, with flooring, but she is a really big supporter of her and the company One Up, are a great supporter of our local association when it comes to one second. I was hearing another video. Restart. She is a great supporter of WUMFA, our local NEA affiliate, and has gotten involved in a lot of ways over the years when it comes to that. In fact, most of their marketing efforts are really through the association and the support that they provide. They do some great things when it comes to scholarships and sponsoring their training facility and all the things. So they are a great contributor to the industry and try to be a supportive part of it for sure. So really excited to have her. Known Katie for a while, been around One Up Floors, and even before One Up Floors, some of the owners and previous owners known them for a while too. And one of the owners, I actually have coached their son's soccer team. So little fun fact on the side there. But we definitely have been around each other for quite some time. So excited to have her. She's really leading the charge when it comes to sales and really getting the name out there. She has some a marketing person as well, Lacey, that I've gotten to know as well this last year or so that she's come on with One Up. And it's just been really fun to see how they engage and do things a little different when it comes to the flooring industry. So we will get right to that shortly. But before we do, again, I'm Evan Happel with Community Boss, and we have a great prop tech solution for you managing your physical spaces, whether that's your parking, your amenities, or mapping. We have you covered and have the ability to generate some ancillary revenue so that we can build value for your community. Also, just making it a great place for your residents to live and enjoy where they live, knowing that they can give a parking spot to their buddy and it's going to be there, and using those amenities and have confidence in it. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. And already we have a watcher, Emily Bryant. I know Katie is her mentor for the Carrie Anderson Emerging Leader Program this year, which is the first year. So another great thing she's doing. So let's bring Katie to the show. Katie,
Hi.
thanks for being here.
Yes, absolutely. So excited.
But yeah, our paths have crossed in various ways. Obviously, mostly connected to this industry and what we're doing here. You're very entrenched locally. I used to be, and then I became more national in my mindset, but still very active locally. So we definitely still see each other a lot.
Yes.
But it's always been fun to get to know you more and be around you and see all the cool things you guys are doing. So yes, thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about our industry and ourselves with one of my favorites.
Absolutely. And we're going to cover some things, just taking a little slightly different well, I don't know if it's different. It's not everything's different. Everybody's doing things semi-similar but different, right? But you guys definitely are trying to put an emphasis on being authentic and allowing your employees to show up as themselves and to work hard, but also realize no one can do perfect. So this is a very true statement, and sometimes people forget that. So it's a good approach to take. But before we dive into that any further, I would really love to get your take on a few things. So the first thing is, when it comes to building community, how is it that you approach that in your personal and professional life?
Ooh, that's a good one. I in my life, personal and professional, overlaps quite a bit. So I think for me, building community, just like if you were building a house, building the spirit of community starts with the foundation. It's having a good foundational level of trust and understanding and acceptance, and it's something that's really important to me. I can be a heavy person in the sense that I think it's great to be able to talk about the superficial and laugh. And anyone that knows me knows I'm a huge laugher. But if you really want to build something that has depth and, sharing like-minded views with someone, sometimes you have to have heavier conversations. And I think that foundational base is just so important. Katie phrase around here is, I care more about your future success than your current feelings. And that's in my personal life and my professional. And I believe in kindness and candidness that go in aligned with each other. But if you don't have a baseline, if you don't trust the other person, if you don't trust that everyone has the same best interests, then I really don't think you can build a community.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you don't have a baseline, people aren't going to feel comfortable
Yes.
going in that direction with you. That's for sure.
Yes.
Well, thanks for answering. And then next question, when it comes to, I guess the next stage of community building, hospitality, a great way to approach that is to provide food and a meal to people. So, what is it that you would do to make somebody feel special and provide hospitality to others?
Ooh. Well, the first thing I would do is make sure my husband prepares the meal, not me.
All right.
I am your cocktails girl or mocktails
Okay.
girl, each their own. That I can do with some expertise, but my powerhouse husband is the one that makes sure we feed people well. I'm also in the stage of life where hospitality is normally come with your kids. As you know, I also have 3 kids, and hospitality is hearing all the pitter patters and the chicken tenders and all that fun stuff for me. So
yeah. So what would he make?
My husband makes a lot of really good things. He is Italian. He does a lot of really great pastas. He makes his own bread. So he will do some focaccia pizza stuff. There's nothing my husband can't make delicious. So I am very spoiled. I'd like to think it's an earned right, but yeah, no, he would, it's 2 meals. We normally have the adult meal. And then, like I said, we have the kid meal. More common in our house is a make your own pizza night. Like I said, chicken tenders. We're at the classy stage of life. I can eat some chicken tenders.
Hey, that's all right. I don't balk at some chicken tenders. And, when you have children, especially the dad, we end up eating the remainder of the kids' food. So
that's
it's
me in my life.
Okay. All right.
I am the disposal. I am the one. Mom cleans the plates of the food. I'm the grazer at dinner time, where
Okay.
you're helping the kids and doing the things, getting your hand slapped a little bit by your 9-year-old when you take that perfect bite they were waiting to eat. I'm the finisher of the food.
Nice. Yeah, in my household, it's called give it to the daddy can. Instead of the garbage can, it's the daddy can. So, yeah.
Yours has a bit better consumption appeal in my mind, but proud disposal over here.
That's funny. All right. So, final question. When it comes to your caffeinated beverage of choice, what is your go-to?
It depends on the time of day.
Okay.
I start most days with 3 shots of espresso and my chocolate protein mix. I try to do 2 things at once. I love coffee. I also love tea. I love caffeine. I may have a problem. But acceptance is the first step. So yeah, love me some
Do you have
caffeine.
a go-to do you prefer an espresso with some flavorings of a
I
latte,
take
a
my
mocha?
protein drink and I pour 3. I have a little espresso maker at home, so I pour the espresso right in there, and I'm drinking healthy. Caffeine doesn't count if it's a
Okay.
protein.
So you just mix the protein drink with the coffee.
I do chocolate premier protein, a couple
All
shots of
right.
espresso, change your
All
life.
right. Get you going. Is that breakfast in the morning?
Yes.
Okay. Protein and caffeine. Just down the gullet. Straight
There are
down.
worse
Let's
things that could
go.
keep me going.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I choose.
That's funny. That's quick. Get you going right out the door.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you for answering the questions.
You're welcome.
That concludes the first part of the Boss Talks episode.
Nailing it.
All right. So, One Up Floors, you guys have been around for how many years now?
We just had our 10-year birthday last week.
Oh, I thought I saw that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Good.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you guys.
Thank you. No, it's
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
I was just gonna say, like, it is cool. Like, first of all, starting a business is hard, and then starting a business and lasting 10 years is hard. So you guys did it, and probably in a somewhat crowded market. I mean, flooring isn't like, you know, a uncommon thing. It's pretty
I've been
much a
told we may
commodity.
have competitors, but I'm not sure,
You have a few,
So
one or
focusing on me.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where to start a new company and think, you know what? We're going to be good. We're going to be all right. Flooring. I mean, way back. So it was Kenneth and uh
Kenneth
was
and
it just
Ryan started back in
Kenneth and Ryan started
2014.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, Kenneth was in flooring before, so it's not like he didn't understand the industry. But yeah, to jump in, you guys are still here. You joined. How quickly did you join the?
It's actually my 8-year anniversary on Friday. So I
Okay.
was, I think, about the 4th employee hired. Um, and yeah, no, my start story with One Up Floors, I actually wasn't sure if I was going to take it. Single income at the time. It's a
Mhm.
newer company. I was established where I was at, but I believed in the dream. And, I think it's a pretty beautiful thing when you believe in something so much that someone else's dream becomes your dream, making
Yeah.
that dream come true.
Yeah.
So I love it here. I mean,
Well, and
I
you've been in the industry basically your whole life.
I can cut a key better than most these days. No, I am second generation. So yeah, day one, I've been in property management. My mom was a manager, a portfolio manager, a corporate trainer, and then a supplier. I started in this industry at 16. So, which means I also have my 20-year anniversary in a month. But I love it. It's very rare that you know you're destined from property management. Like most people, it's, they find their way into it versus I feel like the prodigal daughter. Like I knew I was going to get into it. So I just have this great love and appreciation for this thing. So
Yeah.
very blessed.
And at 16, how did you introduce yourself to the industry?
Well, it was so I actually did running start. So I kind of only went to school a couple hours a day back when I was a junior in high school. And my mom called me one day and she's like, someone called out. We need some help. Can you start helping out for a little bit? And I said, sure, for a little bit, mom, and got there. And one day I was just helping with some filing, doing little things, and the phone would not stop ringing. Like it was driving me crazy. This is not the way I conduct my life. So I picked it up, answered it, had no idea what I was doing or what I was saying, but I said the words, I have no idea, but I promise you I'll get back to you. And my mom was like, well, it's time. The time is now. So they never let me go after that. I was at Perfect Surface, my mom's company, for 8 years. So it's rare your first job is an 8-year stint. But yeah, no, it just.
And what was Perfect Surface?
Resurfacing company back in the day. So bathtubs,
Okay.
countertops. Yeah, and it was really cool. I got to cut my teeth there in the sense I worked through customer service department until I kind of ran that. And then once I turned 18, the old age of 18, I was like, I'm ready to be a rep. So at the age of 18, in the month of 18, I got a whole South End portfolio to take care of and
Wow.
never really looked back. So there's a beautiful thing, I think, in getting to start my first experience with work that way. The safety of my mom, if that makes sense, always there to catch me. But on the same token, she's ruthlessly honest with me. So, I can appreciate both sides of that.
And then from there, you jumped into collections.
Sales, yeah. They only when I was having a real bad day did they let me on the phones for that. But yeah, I did sales for Columbia Recovery Group, who was later bought out after I left, but not because of me, just timing. But yeah, I did that for about 3 years until one day Kenneth actually messaged my mom and said, "Hey, do you think Katie's happy?" um, which is just a great origin story in my opinion. And I was happy, but I wasn't necessarily fulfilled, if that makes sense. And, we got to talking and, I heard about the dream that has won up. I was able to come down there and check it out. And, after some back and forth of if it was, something we could do as a family, my husband pushed me and said, you're going to do this. You're going to do this for you. You're going to do this for our at the time son. And haven't looked back since. They're going to have to drag me out of this place. We'll take several one-uppers.
And you started as a salesperson, right?
Yeah.
And then at this point, your title is, you guys do things a little different. So what is your title?
So I have so many titles. I started as a sales rep. Then 3 years after that, I was promoted to manage the sales department. We'd grown, I had sales reps under me. And then 1 or 2 years after that, I was asked to run the company. So because I am a little bit of a control freak and didn't want to let go of the sales department baby I built, I am both a service and sales ninja grandmaster and the executive vice president. So I, business in the front, party in the back. Like I can play in either realm depending on which one.
But, yeah, and take people out to grab drinks. So your day starts when, and when do you come home?
Ooh, that's a question. I'm a 4 a.m. wake upper.
Oh,
so yeah, I don't, I'll sleep at some point. I'm normally out of the house, depending if it's a hot yoga morning or a regular morning. I'm out the house by 5, typically 5:30, and I get back, 6. Depends on the day. I get a lot of grace and fluidity in my workday. So I am lucky enough that I work for a company that knows I'm always mom first. So I get to still catch, the sporting events and the plays and the mom and me tea moments. I always make time and priority for that, but still got to get the job done.
Yeah. Well, that's great that you guys are, you guys have started your own business and been able to put in those types of things into the DNA and the culture. And
Absolutely.
It's really great. And that is actually some of the things that you wanted to talk about, is kind of the mentality that you lead with. And when it comes to coaching and like you said before getting on the call, like I asked you if you ever get tired of talking, and does that energize you? And you said, well, it's energizing. You really can't turn this off, and it's all, you love to coach and that you love to help people to get better. And that's shown in your desire to also be a mentor with Emily. And so what is your approach, and what is your kind of your mentality or mindset when it comes to that?
For me, there's, it's the buzzword about it, but it's like a psychologically safe workplace. I want everyone to feel comfortable to show up as their authentic selves. And that might be their personality, their cultural background, their goals, whatever authentic means to them, but also authentic in the moment. Like for me, one of the greatest wins is that I've cultivated an environment where an employee can tell me before we start a meeting, I'm having a hard day. My kid was up all night sick. I'm here. I'm going to do my best for you. But if I don't see my best, it's not you, it's me. Like that means that they feel safe enough to tell me who they are as they've shown up that day. And that's a big win for me. I don't think I run One Up Floors and build One Up Floors alone. It's the people here that have created this thing from the ground up and built such a unique and special environment where, most employees, when they leave this place or when they, are here for a little bit, are just like, this is magic. This is not something that's recreated. Where, I care about you as an individual. I care about your growth. I ask, what are your plans after this? Like, what's the goal? How do I help get you to that next goal? How do I help you outgrow me? Because that's how we change the world, in my opinion.
No, that's good. I mean, and it also is good because not everybody that comes to a job has the plan to be there forever. Now, some people do. You do. Uh,
I'm very stubborn.
but not everybody is going to. They may have other aspirations and things. And I think sometimes we don't ask that question thinking, I mean, I don't know, you're preventing the inevitable somehow by not asking. I don't know. But where you are is like you said, an opportunity to build for where you want to go. And so if this place where you are, like One Up Floors, is going to set you up for your future job in a positive way, and you can, that just means they're going to give their all to where they are, right?
It's
As a
a hard,
salesperson.
no, yeah, I have the opposite problem. I have some employees that at the end of the day, when I'm leaving this place, I'm like, you need to go home. You're done. I'm like, I just want to get a little bit more work done, please. And I'm like, I was not prepared for this. Like, you know, I, I take that responsibility too. I love that people feel inspired enough to work here and give it their all for sure. But balance is important. But yeah, no, we accept people who they are and they're part of their journey we play a part at. For me, I want them to look back at their time here fondly. I want them to say, that's a place that supported my growth. That's a place that put me first. And that's a place that I left stronger than when I started. And if that happens, then I feel like I did my job as an employer.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah. When people, even though they're leaving, still view it as, I'm not leaving because I hate this place.
Oh no, we've had so many I'm not the most emotional person, other than a very high pitched excitement level. But there's been several people that I have walked out of here on their last day, hand in hand, tears and tears, just hugging, and that's a pretty special thing.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that is nice.
and some of
But
them come back. That's my favorite part. We have a
okay.
pretty good return rate, which we
Okay.
always want to encourage that. But we have, some of our longest standing powerhouse employees left, had different experiences, and chose to come back here because they wanted to continue their experience here, which is pretty cool too.
That's great. And what is it that you guys are in general, like as a company, trying to do different? What you guys, I guess, saw that was being done in the like flooring in general, um, that you saw there was an opportunity to do something different.
I think at One Up we really focus on earning that trust, transparency. We have all inclusive pricing. We also just, I'll root cause it. We have a fundamental appreciation for our customer and a fundamental expectation of ourselves to contribute to that relationship and that partnership. So in everything we do, we have the why behind us and why we're here. I'd like to think that with the pride in the work we do, for me, it's just not selling an apartment home worth of floor. It's a resident's going to live on that floor. Life is happening on that floor. I by no means think I'm a neurosurgeon, but little kids crawl on that floor. Really
Yeah.
cool things. And at the same time, hopefully you're making our customers' life just a little bit easier, helping provide them a little bit more confidence in their decision-making by education and their support if a problem arises. We are not perfect. I will never sit here and say we're perfect, but we try real hard. And, if we have a chance to improve, we take that very seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And one of the things you brought up is just the idea that perfect is unrealistic.
Yeah.
As a mom, as a leader, just as a person. And what are some things that maybe you maybe you used to try to be perfect, I don't know, and realize that's impossible. But what are some things that you've been faced with that have kind of helped you get to that place?
I mean, for me, two big things come to mind. The first one's just motherhood in general.
Mm,
The employee and the person I was before being a mom, it's different now. And every child that I've added to my crew of reservation, that has impacted that as well. My kids are 9, 6, and 2. I am in it. And for a long time, I had this expectation that being a mom wouldn't impact me, that I just needed to work harder, that I could be the best employee, the best boss, the best wife, the best mom, the best daughter. You pick it. Like, that's who I am. I'm a little bit of an overachiever. And one day I realized that I will never be that. There is not a single day that I'm not a powerhouse boss, that I'm maybe missed an opportunity as a mom, or vice versa. For me, my responsibility to myself is to make the best decisions that I can, prioritize the best way that I can, and remember the important parts of each obligation and act accordingly. And when I gave myself that grace, when I gave myself that just that understanding, I ended up being, I think, so much stronger at both. And then, my second part to answer that question would be, when I took over One Up Floors in January of 2020. So in my first year, I dealt with COVID. I dealt
Yeah.
with fires. We're right here next to Bonnie Lake. I dealt with flooding off the Puyallup River. We unfortunately also we had a key member of the team that was killed in a car accident. An owner buyout. Like, my first year was, don't just throw her in the pool, throw her in the ocean, take her out 17 miles and see how she can swim. And I'm someone that embraces challenges. Another Katieism around here that everyone's tired of hearing is challenges are just opportunities. And I got pushed in the ocean and did not handle it perfectly, but I chose every moment as an opportunity to learn. And the only thing I could truly do during that time is just show up for everybody. Every day I showed up. Even on the days where I still wasn't sure why I was the one showing up, I showed up. I gave everything I had. And I think that allowed us as a team to come together and, grow from that. So, but nothing like that first year taught me that no matter how much I try, I'm not going to get everything done. I can't solve every problem, but I can always control what I can control and have that expectation on myself. And that's kind of the way I live my life.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, if you're going to try things, and a lot of things, and parenting and professional and all the things, you quickly do realize you can't be perfect at them all. I mean, some people pretend, I guess, but it comes crashing down at some point.
Oh yeah, and I'm lucky enough that I don't think I fully crashed. Like, right about here, right about we hit there, I was like, hold on, what's real for me? One of the things, I talk a lot about authenticity too, right? And being authentic. And for me, it's one of the things I'm the most proud of for myself, because the journey that it takes to get there. And when I say a journey, I don't think authenticity is a destination. I think that it is the way I choose to live my life, personally and professionally. I am someone that, I think authenticity comes from self-confidence. I think self-confidence comes from self-acceptance. I think before that, you have self-awareness. And I think it all starts with reflection. And I try my best. I am a human. I take those moments of opposition. I take those moments of success and I reflect. I have honest conversations with myself that I am a human. I am one person. And all I can do is show up and do my best. And, I have a lot of pride in my ability to handle that and how I do that. And as I said before, like, I'm better for that. The Katie that wanted to be a certain person and be perfect, to be the right leader at the right times in every moment, she was nowhere near as strong as how I consider myself today, because today I'm realer. Today I operate in a real world where I have real employees that also have a real life.
Yeah.
And, you can approach things from that demeanor. You tend to, I don't know. I think it helps me find success.
Yeah. Well, it's good because, yeah, like you said, if once you've come to the place of you have, I guess, awareness of yourself, and you not only see your own areas of opportunity, we'll call them, um, you can then have confidence. Okay, I know what I'm good at. These things not so good,
Yeah.
but I see the people that are good at it, and so let's let them thrive in what their passions
Yeah.
are and they're great at. So, I mean, even how you and your husband approach parenting. Like, you guys have made decisions that not everybody else makes, and I think it's awesome that you guys are like doing things how you want to do it. So if you want to speak on that a little bit, I mean, go for it, because I know your husband's like an awesome cook and stuff, but it's more than just that.
Oh, for every accomplishment I've ever had, nothing will make me as important as my husband is. My husband is the stay-at-home dad. He is told you I'm not emotional, I'll cry. I could not do what I do without him putting his dreams on hold every day. And there is no more important work in my life than raising my children and developing our family. And every day he shows up and does that job. You know, when we had our first, we tried almost 10 years ago. That'll make me cry harder. We tried to both work at the same time. And I have nothing but the utmost respect for the parents that do that. And they all work and, you know, have to figure that out and navigate that. But for us, it wasn't our solution. And, you know, me and my husband sat down, and I'm working days. He's working nights. We're never seeing each other. We got a 3-month at home. We both want to get to know better. And at the time, he actually made more money than me. And he looked at me and he said, "You love this. You love working. You love contributing." And he said, "I don't love it as much," which is okay. He's a wonderful artist. And, you know, again, he puts his dreams on hold every day so that I can go out there and make our family's dreams come true. And I believe that we both equally contribute to our life and our lifestyle. And we actually just had our 18-year anniversary together. We grew up together, elementary, junior high, and high school, started dating after high school, but I'm lucky. I'm married to my best friend. The father of my kids is amazing. And I could not hit any one of my goals without him in my corner. And, you know, knowing that he is doing the most important job and raising those babies to be just wonderful human beings.
That's great. Well, thanks for sharing your story on that side, because I know, you know, people might wonder, like, how are you able to do all you're doing? And
not alone. It takes a village. I also have a
yeah.
true village. And I think I can't, when you find your people, you hold on to them. You know, I talked about all the kids pitter-pattering in my house. You know, it is not uncommon for our village who we're not related by blood, but my kids got lots of aunts and uncles. And we got, you know, I got a lot of people that call me Auntie Katie. And hey, I can't be here. Can you take 3 kids here? Can you do 2 kids there? You know, we village parent, raise each other's kids, and really try to instill that sense of community as well. You know, family is sometimes the people you choose, and I'm very lucky. I am one of the most supported people that I could imagine, whether it's family, friends, guidance, you know, mentors for myself. Like, there's not one problem that can be put in front of me that if I can't solve, I can't find someone that'll stand by my side and help me solve it.
That's great. I mean, yeah, you really can't make certain career pursuits or decisions without support. And, you know, you can rub against it for a while and like try to, but that means something else is suffering for sure. Like, if you don't have the support of your spouse or your support of other people too, you know, you really, and you have kids. Like, I guess if you're a single person, I guess, you know, that's a different story probably. Don't know what that's like anymore. It's been a while.
We're too far gone.
But
you know,
yeah.
I think life is a marathon, not a sprint. And you got to take pit stops, and you need people to hand you water and to fan you down and tell you can do it. And my life is a marathon. It sounds cheesy. I love my life. I am one of the most blessed people I know. My life is harder than some lives might be. I sometimes choose the difficult path as far as, you know, the expectations on myself and the growth, but I'd pick my life. And that's the greatest accomplishment I think I probably have thus far, other than my beautiful family, is I would pick me. I would pick my life, and I love me. I love the way I do life. You know, sometimes life is really hard. And there's some mornings where I'm like, 30 minutes of sleep. I will cut off an arm, 30 minutes of sleep. But
I would do that every morning at 4 a.m. But
you know what? I 4 a.m. gives me an hour a day to myself. And all the moms and dads and anyone in between, whether or like a moment by yourself is priceless. And I like to give myself that hour every morning. I show up for me first, fill my cup up a little bit, and that lets me take care of everyone throughout the day. So for me, I can sacrifice that little bit of sleep to stay vivacious.
Well, that's good. Yeah, no, it's good that you've identified the need for that, and even if it means at god awful time, I
You know
mean,
what? Eye serums and concealers have come a long way. Speaking for all women, we have options, and I like to embrace those options.
yeah, no, I probably should embrace some of those options.
I'll send you some links after this. I can help you.
Okay, perfect, perfect. I don't want to look too make-upped. I want an even tone to my face.
You know, just a little spring freshness, a little pep in your step.
Oh man. Apparently Sloan joins you at 4 a.m.
Yep.
Oh man.
Hey,
Sloan,
another powerhouse mama getting it done. You know, we
that's
got to find
true.
the time where we can.
That's true. Oh man. I guess maybe I need to take your guys's no, I'm not a morning person. I'm a night owl. I unfortunately stay up late most times. So anyways.
Yeah.
That's how I roll. Um Well, thanks for sharing that, and thanks for sharing a little bit more personally. Not everybody feels comfortable doing that, but I appreciate your candor in that, and um,
I am the
I think
queen of
it's
overshare. So, you know,
queen of overshare.
I am as I have to remind myself, not everyone likes the full transparency, but if you can't tell your people, like, you're right. If you take a look at my title and my family and everything, I appear like a woman in much more control of my life than I maybe am. I control what I can. And I'm honest. Like, I love to tell people the things I'm failing at. Because for me, I see failure very uniquely. I'm failing forward. I'm learning. Even on my worst days, I figured something out.
Yeah,
Even if nothing else is, I can survive this and wake up in the morning and try it again.
yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
It's great. And on the money, Emily, she just said, "We love you for it, Katie." And I just wanted to use that as a segue because one thing you're doing right now is giving back to the industry as a mentor.
Yeah.
And Emily, like I said earlier, is your mentee. What is it that made you want to take on that role? Because it is a commitment, especially in this program, because it is a commitment for the year, and there's a bunch of benchmark things that you guys are doing. So why'd you jump into that, and how's it going, and what have you learned about yourself in the midst of that?
Ooh, okay. Well, the why and the reason is, I don't think you can truly love anything if you don't want it to grow. And I truly love multifamily. I think because I'm second generation, like this industry, like I said, I picked it. I'd pick it again. I love that community. And for me, it's I'm probably going to butcher it, but one of my favorite quotes is, the world's better when old men grow trees they'll never know the shade of, and I'm someone that thinks if I'm not giving what I have and what I've learned and paid it forward, do I really appreciate this industry, or am I conveniently placed within it? And that's something that I'm very passionate about. I don't exactly remember the other questions because I was focused so much on answering the first part. But as
Well,
far as go for it. Remind me. Cue cards.
now I got to remember what I asked. So I think next was what's it been like?
Okay.
Because there's a lot of the benchmarks and things. What's it been like to be a mentor so far in the program for others that may consider it in the future?
Yeah.
And what is it the next question after that is, what have you learned about yourself in the midst of it?
The program's been great. I got an extra little sneak peek because also in my lifelong participation in WNFA's Career Development Committee, I kind of got to be part of the brainstorming that kind of brought this to reality. So I have even more of an expanded look at it. But there's a beauty in just the energy. Seeing a room full of mentors give back to the future and to have that collection of ideas is just so rewarding selfishly. to participate within. Going to events with everyone and just, I like to think I bring the energy and fun sometimes. So, embracing the learning aspects, the support aspects, but also just this industry is fun. Like, is there anything better than learning and growing while you're enjoying yourself? No, there's really not. Um, Unless there's a cocktail in your hand, and Wumfa helps us arrange that as well. So, those are big things. And then what I've learned from it, I mean, Emily is so amazing. We've worked together for a while, like in the same industry, and it shocked me how little I knew about her and her strength and her goals and her perseverance and her wants. And right away, that first emerging leaders orientation where we really got matched with our mentees and we got to sit down for just a few minutes. She reminds me so much of myself, but so much more poised and intelligent. And, she's great. I know it's surprising. People can be more poised and intelligent than me, but she is. But, there's something amazingly rewarding about getting that reminder of that energy of growth. Sometimes I'm so focused on fostering everyone else's growth that I forget about mine. And that's a hazard of the job, but just to be in that energy and having those conversations and getting to reflect. Again, I reflect a lot, probably more than a therapist would endorse, but to reflect on, my career and my journey and the questions that I'm thankful I was asked and the questions and the support that I wish I was asked. Lets me know how far I've come and how far I still want to go.
That's great.
Yeah.
And where do you want to go?
Ooh,
Katie?
I mean, other than world flooring domination and, future podcast speaking, I think I have pretty modest goals. I want to cultivate a life that I enjoy living continuously. I want to challenge myself. I want to bring the people around me up. And I want to have that legacy of leadership when someday when I'm very old and very gray, still can dance, that'll never stop. I got a good shoulder. But when people think of me, they think of someone that contributed to their life. That's my goal. I don't need glamorous things. I don't have this high title expectation of myself. I want to, enjoy my life, and I want to make the people that are touched by my life better for it.
Good. Those are good goals.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing about all that. Thanks for hitting on the mentor program, because it is such a new thing this year for WUMFA. But I think it's fantastic that it's taking place, that it's happening. There's just been so much newness and trying new things by WUMFA in the last year or two, and it's really been fun to see it happening and the growth, and to be a part of it as a supplier even is really great. Even to give feedback, right? Like just to be able to speak into things and see some of that feedback get taken. Not that all of it is. I mean, I know that I personally have all the right answers and all the right feedback, but
no, but that's the beauty of WUMFA. And I have not got to experience all of NAA, right? Like I am the Washington girl for now. But WUMFA, like I have been a member of WUMFA since before I learned tact. I have been a member of WUMFA since I was a teenager. And I have never felt like my voice didn't matter, and the OGs, Trisha and Sloan especially, but everyone at WUMFA, like they know I'm one of the first, probably like you, I would imagine, to give feedback, positive, or, hey, what if we tried this next time? I got a strong voice and I like to use the power within that. And it's amazing because even if my suggestions doesn't fit within the buckets of WUMFA or what they can feasibly do, I still know it's valued. And that's what you want from your local association. That's what WUMFA is designed for. We're a community of people growing. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And kind of tied to that and kind of your passion for the industry and supporting it, recently you even gave testimony down in Olympia. For those that don't know, Olympia is our capital here in Washington and is where all things politics happen. And here recently, we've been having an onslaught of various bills that have come to the local legislature trying to make laws that make, well, even suppliers in the industry of multifamily potentially really have some roadblocks and things that could hurt even those industries. So, what is it that you did, and why did you feel compelled to do it?
Well, in this case, as part of the Emerging Leaders program, we, had this our first topic is legislative. And we got to hear a lot about what's going on and, to participate in Day of the Hill and lots of fun stuff. And one of the things that was brought up was a pet deposit bill and some limitations. And I will say, I believe when it comes to our industry, it doesn't matter if you're on site, it doesn't matter if you're VP, it doesn't matter if you're supplier. We are all fighting for our industry.
Mm-hmm.
And, some potential laws were coming down the way, and there's not a lot you can call me for an expert witness, but when it comes to dog pee and damaging carpet, I'm your girl. So it was my time to shine. I'm the Liam Neeson of
Oh,
pet deposits.
oh no.
Luckily I had some data and I had some facts, and it was such a rewarding experience to be able to feel like how I could impact, this industry in that way and support what we needed. I encourage anyone and everyone that has even a 1% interest to reach out to WMFA. They will get you up to speed and make sure your voice is also heard in all the ways it can be. But it was, again, 20 years. Like, I don't get a lot of new experiences. And that one was really cool. It was really fun for me. And I'm just glad it was received so well. I honestly was not expecting it to be like received the volume that it was. I had so many people reach out and thank me, and honestly, I just did it because sometimes doing the right thing's reason enough. So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
why.
and as a result, that bill did not pass, right?
I think that's a result of WMFA more so than me, but
Well, not
like,
just you, but you helped.
well, my brain heard it a certain way. It felt very complimentary. Um, but no, yeah, no, I'm glad that I got to just hopefully provide some facts and some reasons on why it just didn't pencil out. And yeah, that bill did not move through. It did not pass. So, helped score a win, which was great.
Yeah. And what is it that you said? Because some people might be like, oh, everybody, all the, multifamily, they're just trying to nickel and dime me and get all my money and all these deposits and things. They're just garbage. But what is it you said?
I broke out some facts. There was one of the things specifically was talking about putting a cap on the amount of pet deposit you could get, which was $500, I believe. And the average, I just talked about some numbers, about $1,300 is actually the average cost just for carpet. If you got a higher flooring, it's more to deal with, some pet damage. The frequency of the amount of work we do, the percentages in which require that. And honestly, the part of me that can never really follow a script heard, I was like, out of 17, I think I was the 15th person to testify. And I just heard person after person share their own beliefs and opinions, which I respect, but also did not jive with my facts and my understanding of things. So I also just shared that, with 20 years experience, I can promise you pets create damage. I love pets. I've got dogs. The boys aren't pets, but I've dealt with them learning too. So,
Yeah.
I understand that part of living sometimes is damages, but that's why we have pet deposits. That's why we have fees. That's why we have protections for those that provide quality housing.
Mm-hmm.
And as someone that puts in floors in a lot of smelly places sometimes just because of previous pets doing the thing, I feel a responsibility to make sure that operators are set up for success to take care of that for the next resident coming in.
Yeah.
A lot of people focus on the monies of it, and that is a very valid thing for operators, but let's talk about the quality of living for the next resident that should also be taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah, I think we also need to realize when you don't personally own something, when you're renting, you don't necessarily have as much ownership in that. So the level of care of a unit and things by some people, not everyone, isn't always the greatest.
Um, yes. I think I've been into lots of places, whether they're owner occupied, rented, whatever it is. I've seen some things I can't come back from.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
you
Especially
know,
around pets. Oh, I've also experienced this, but yes, go ahead.
I have been in a unit where I many years ago. This is a side note, but it's a great story. I've been
Good.
in a unit where I was in this apartment home, and the resident had said there's something wrong with my floors. They're wavy. They're not working. So the property manager was like, "Can you come out? I think we have an issue." And I came out and pretty quickly, not to get too carpet nerdy technical, found some delamination due to some urine saturation. And I was like, hey, and that's not my job to talk to the resident, right? But I was trying to explain it to both of them that we have to be diplomatic. That's part of it. That's part of being on a podcast. That's part of it. But while I was in the unit, explaining that, and the resident was adamant. She said, "My dog has never urinated in this unit." And out of respect for where my role is, I didn't explain the general ambiance of smell. But as we were having this conversation, her dog came and lifted their leg and started peeing all over me.
My
So,
dog is never. And then
yes, my dog has never. And then immediately proved my point. But we listen. They're homes. Things happen. If you're a resident that's going to care for the property in the right ways, deposits come back. If you're using amenity spaces, if you are using dog runs, or if you have a dog that gets excited when they finally get to go down an elevator, those pet fees, like those, I can tell you, like they affect, there's a reason why they're there. So
yeah.
I am not the smartest speaker of this by any means, but I got opinions. So,
Well, and you have an educated outlook because you've actually been in the industry observing all that's taken place regarding it. So I think, when we don't actually call on people that are educated or have firsthand knowledge of how these things impact um, the end product, the housing, and then who's going to then be able to use it, because if we can't make it livable um and or it's not covered by deposits, that means it just more and more gets eaten into the profits, or even just the ability to maintain a community. And then where are we just have these communities that get worse and worse and worse and worse.
yeah, it's just part of life.
Yeah.
It's part of the industry. We got to take care of our responsibilities in our property. I will do a plug for WUMFA, respond to call to actions, whether
Yeah.
it's on pet bills or something else. Like I said, you got that voice. So I just was lucky enough to have a little bit of experience in this category and the ability to not be quiet. So you put those together. This worked for me, but I would encourage we all have our own expertise. Whatever your local association or affiliation is, do what feels right to you always, and never underestimate the ability to let your voice be heard and how impactful that is.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of little voices to create a roar. So
Totally. And I think we have two great people on our staff at WUMFA, Ryan and Carter, and they are doing their best to educate us all on what's going on in Olympia and otherwise, and bring it a little more dumbed down for us people that can't read bills and stuff. We're not
remember
lawyers
in
and
like fifth
things.
grade when we watched videos on how to create a bill, I refreshed all that. I did some Googling.
But it's been really great to get those alerts, and I've actually participated. I've clicked the
Yay.
link and I've done the testimony, written in, said, hey, this is my opinion, said yes or no or whatever, right? So honestly, before I saw that, I didn't even know you could do that. So
I didn't think anyone would ever want me to do it, but yeah.
yeah, but like even just the simple, like giving your opinion, and also saying yes or no to it. It's very simple, and it's something then they have to show, the lawmakers, hey, there's this many people that are opposed to this, or whatever it is. And the more educated we can be about all these things that affect everybody, housing is something everyone has, or
Absolutely.
hopefully has. Um, so knowing how it affects us all, both in our job and just how we live.
Hmm. Very much agree. It's, you know, I think the goal is that, you know, there's this stigma sometimes that landlords are the bad guy. And I think because I have such a depth of appreciation for the fact, you know, our industry provides housing. How's that the bad guy? You
Yeah.
know, that the more we can do to collaborate with both sides and the more we can do to make sure, you know, voices are heard can only lead to better outcomes. You know, you
Yep.
can't complain if you didn't say anything, in my opinion. That's how I was raised. So,
Yeah. 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 Say something, and hopefully we can have more and more dialogue over time, and
yeah,
the parties can come together. That would be really good, because there's some very, very strong opinions, especially on side of, like, rent control and stuff. So it's passionate, and I get it. Like, you want your housing to be affordable. I totally agree with that.
you know, I think most things in life, true collaboration only makes them better. It's hard when you have, you know, sometimes it's hard. Housing, it's our homes, right? Emotions are tied to homes. I don't
Yeah.
think there's a bad guy in this. I really
Right.
don't. I think it's people that are looking through it through different lenses.
Yeah.
You know, fundamentally, you have to make it in this state and in all states where people can logistically provide quality housing. And
Right.
sometimes that includes rent increases.
Yeah.
Sometimes that includes other things that you have to make sure business operators have the ability to do so. Otherwise, you're not going to have enough housing. And then
Yeah.
we truly do have a different level of housing crisis. We're going to
Right.
need a lot of units, you know, coming on board in the next few years. And the way we make sure we can do that is by making sure that it makes sense for developers and operators to have quality rental housing in the state.
Hmm. It's just housing in general. You got
Yeah.
to build more of it. Like, if you have less, that just fundamentally means it's more expensive. So let's let's not encourage less.
No, you know, and not an expert on it, but like you said, rent stabilization, also known
Yeah.
as another word,
Yeah.
that, you know, that might not protect that kid coming out of college, that, you know, family that's getting divorced, that single mom, that the next resident to come in, you know, all businesses have to
Right.
operate and everything has to balance.
Yep.
So my goal would just be that, you know, we can come up with a collaborative, cohesive plan that serves everyone. You know, at the end of the day, I'm a mom and I'm a human being. I would
Hmm.
love to live in a world where everyone has an opportunity for housing as long
Yep.
as they're willing to take those opportunities. And, you know, I want to make sure that we're supporting creating more opportunities. So
Yep. Absolutely. Well, Katie, thank you so much for being on Boss Talks today.
this was
I
fun. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
letting me gab at you. And thank
Oh,
you everybody for the
absolutely.
comments and the cheerleading. I consider all of you part of my village too. So thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for joining us. Thanks for talking, contributing your comments. It definitely makes for a fun show. So, I
Awesome.
again just thank you so much for jumping in, for all you do for our local industry, which has waves into other places too. So, even though you are here and you are flooring Washington, there is an impact beyond that, I'm sure. So, uh, keep doing what you're doing.
Thank
Totally
you.
appreciate all our interactions and the time we get to spend together in the different things that we got going on here in Woomfa. And next week, EdCon. So if you haven't, well, tickets are sold out. Sorry.
Have a year of luck. Good luck in 2025.
That's
Uh,
true.
yeah, over 1,900 attendees. Our first time at the Washington Convention Center. The powerhouse team at WMFA is putting on one of the best shows I can imagine. I'm so excited to be there. We are the registration sponsor. So everyone will get to, you know, see One Up Floors as they're first arriving. But oh, I love EdCon Day. I've had so many of them. I'm so excited. So yeah, I can't wait to see you on Tuesday.
Yeah, me as well. We have our largest booth to date,
Ooh.
and we're trying to, have a little fun with our booth this year. So come get your. We actually bought a photo booth, so come get your photo with your boss
Cool.
bling and all the things. And we are ready to host you at the Community Boss booth as well. And just have a good time. Enjoy EdCon and learn lots as we what is the tagline?
Learn, connect, grow. Is that the one you want?
Yes, learn, connect, grow. Yes,
I think all those things will be done and some at EdCon. I love the energy. I cannot wait. So let's party.
absolutely. All right. See you guys next week. Thanks for watching. This has been Boss Talks. If you want to be a guest, you can be, because I host all the bosses, whether that's a person that is just starting out in the industry but killing it, or you're a maintenance tech, or a regional, a CEO, whatever you are, a supplier, property manager. I want to know you. I want to give you an opportunity to share why you're a boss at what you do. So reach out to me and we'll make it happen. But this again has been Boss Talks, and I'll see you next week.